Welcome back. Let's continue with more news. October is Transport Month. The Department of Transport and its entities use this period to showcase transport infrastructure services in aviation, maritime, public transport and roads. It also serves as an opportunity to advance the country's road safety initiatives, whilst also creating awareness of the economic benefits of the sector. The advancement of the country's road safety initiatives also creates awareness about the economic benefits associated for the sector at large. Let's bring in Mugebe Tulo, head of brand for aware.org, to talk about the way of improving road safety as we head even closer towards the festive season. Mugebe, good afternoon, and thank you for your time with us here on the SABC.
Good afternoon, Liesel. Thank you so much for having us, and good afternoon to your audience.
Thank you for your time. Let's get into the conversation. Road safety concerns in South Africa and also the behavior observations coming through. What are you observing on that front, particularly the influence of alcohol plaguing South Africa?
I mean, Liesel, this has been a problem that we've been facing for a number of years. We know that our statistics when it comes to people that are prosecuted or at least arrested for drinking and driving are considerably high, or at least higher than they should be. We believe that anyone that is drinking and driving is one person too many. We have gratefully, through some of our interventions, seen that things such as roadblocks or interventions such as roadblocks and the increased visibility on the road decreases these numbers, and that is what we are aiming to focus on, especially leading to the end of the year.
All right, let's actually get into that. Talking about some of the biggest contributors of fatalities on the roads, particularly recorded during the festive period in South Africa. What has been the work during Transport Month between aware.org and JMPD? And how has this collaboration yielded results for the better?
Okay, so I'm going to start off with the first part of what you said, and the cause of fatalities on the road is surprisingly, to many, not actually alcohol related. It is things like the roadworthiness of cars or lack thereof. So there are a number of factors that go into these numbers. Our collaboration with the JMPD specifically is a long-running one in terms of we looking not just at the short term, but looking at the long term, the big wins. So collaborating throughout the year is what we aim to do. So we ran a very successful pilot program over April to June, in which we very closely tracked the results. And we saw that in the event and in cases where there is the visibility of roadblocks and where the roadblocks are made to be much more efficient and faster, and where the evidence collected at these roadblocks and prosecutions are gained, and I'll speak a little bit more about this, we have seen a 6% decrease year on year of the number of people that are caught for drunken driving.
Thank you for that, Mukebe, because I actually wanted to look at the issue of reliable data and accountability given the behavior on our roads. And really, you know, as we assess the data that has come through this pilot study, what the regional impact it's had on our socio-economic development.
I mean, it's difficult for me to speak towards the socioeconomic numbers because we specifically work in harm reduction, and that is our focal area. So that is slightly outside my ambit, but we know that anything that happens on our roads affects all of us. We know that the road network and the health and safety of the road network is intrinsically connected to the socioeconomic stability of our country, and that is to be seen, for example, in prices of things such as petrol and gas, or food prices even. So it is important for us to look at these factors.
Yes.
And yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I actually wanted to have you go ahead because you're actually alluding to the issue of education and being informed. And on the back of the initiative, I mean, that becomes a priority. And so given that the ripple effects and the relationship exists between behavior and the socioeconomic development, what role does education play in traffic rules and enforcement? How is it going to be amped up, or ramped up rather, as we edge closer to the festive season?
Okay, so AWARE is actually the Association for Alcohol Responsibility and Education. So a large part of our mandate is to provide this education. We want people to consume alcohol safely under all circumstances. And of course, when it comes to under 18s, to not consume any alcohol at all. How we do this is through educational programs that are run with various partners throughout the year in order to educate people about the effects of alcohol on if you're going to get behind the wheel, for example. We give people tools and tips around what else can you do rather than getting behind the wheel after having consumed alcohol. So we look at alternatives such as e-hailing, transportation. There are a number of options. We look at things like planning ahead. We look at things like tempering your alcohol intake with water, at eating food, at drinking water, at getting a designated driver. But it's all about education and things like understanding your body and how your body works, especially if you're going to be consuming alcohol. So one of the things we've done, for example, is to create a consumption calculator on our website, www.aware.org.za, where you can sort of understand your relationship with alcohol. So it's hard for me to, or anyone to, for example, say you can only have 2 drinks per night and then you're safe. It all depends on your body size, whether you're male or female, how much food you've had to eat, your metabolism. So you need to understand your body, you need to understand the implications of alcohol consumption on your body, and you need to be wise enough to plan ahead and make responsible decisions beforehand. And Liesel, going back to your point on ensuring that some of this evidence or people that are caught behind the wheel under the influence of alcohol, what we've seen is that there is a challenge when it comes from, for example, a police officer catching someone that is assumed to be under the influence of alcohol to going to the courts and getting a proper prosecution. And how we've come into this is to help through, number one, providing EBAT machines, which are basically more advanced sort of technology when it comes to breathalyzers, but the results of these machines are admissible in court. So the admissibility is as strong as, for example, what a blood sample would be, and the use of this is so much faster for both drivers as well as, of course, the officers on the road. We've also provided data capturers, which are able to digitally capture the data, the incident data on the ground, so that nothing happens to this evidence between the place where the person was, for example, apprehended and the courts.
Well, Gilbert, thank you for your time with us on the SABC and for weighing in on that important subject. Of course, we're edging closer to the festive period, and these conversations become all the more important. Bukebe Tulo is head of brandaware.org, in fact, weighing in as we shine a spotlight on road safety as we edge closer, as I mentioned, to the festive period.